think it's just another
Let's
year
head straight
under
to
his
Florida
belt
and Blue Jays manager John Schneider.
I think he's done a phenomenal job. I think he's going to be a little bit more loose, a little bit more relaxed. You know, again, going back to the postseason last year, I think it's really cool for everyone to be on that heightened stage and to see how they responded. And I think that kind of bleeds into this year. But he's been a little bit more vocal than I've ever seen him, a little bit more loose than I've ever seen him, and understands that he's one of the best players in the game.
John, you touched on it there, but he kind of really took his game to another level in October. What was it that allowed him to be that locked in?
I've talked to him a little bit. You know, I remember talking to you guys before the division series, and you can kind of see a little bit of a different edge about him. And I think really he was just relaxed and a little bit more focused, probably. I mean, your senses go up a little bit in the postseason. And again, not to say that they aren't in the regular season, but I think when you're solely focused on winning, you kind of get into that zone of being locked into every single pitch and every single play you're trying to make. I think Vlatty really, it wasn't just offensively, it was defense, it was bases, it was everything. So I think trying to bottle that up a little bit and say, how can you be that force for 162 before you get into the postseason? And he's in a good mindset to, I think, kind of pick up where he left off.
For some guys, when they sign like a big contract like that, like a huge contract, sometimes that first year, there's added pressure there. There's a lot of things. What is it about his kind of personality that kind of like, he didn't really seem to have put too much pressure on himself last year, even after the contract? He seemed to be kind of Vlatty.
Yeah, I think he's, he understands how good he is, for one. And I think that any player who signs that kind of deal kind of exhales a little bit. And I think people around you exhale a little bit. So it's, again, if he wasn't as talented as he was, it'd be a little bit, him trying to show people how good he is. He knows he's good. And I think just, again, going through what he's gone through is just going to pay off for him big time this year.
John, that focus that you alluded to in the playoffs, it wasn't just Vlad, guys like Ernie.
It was everyone, yeah.
But just, is there a difference maintaining that over 162 versus the playoffs, with understanding that you don't have some of the inputs that maybe drove some of that focus you were describing there?
I mean, that's the goal, right? And I think the only way you get better at it is going through it. Like any rep in a high stress environment is good. It's beneficial for something that may not be as stressful. So I think everyone going through it, I tried to touch on it to the guys today. There was numerous performances that were really historic between Ernie, Vladimir, Trey, Barger. It was kind of everyone just really stepping up to the situation that was called for. So how do you find that? How do you find that day to day? It's really hard when you play every day, So it's if we weren't learning from it and saying, all right, what do we want to take from that? We've had discussions about it. What do you want to take from that experience and bring it into this year? What do you want to leave behind? It's just a huge opportunity to kind of figure out what you were doing in those spots. And the more you can do it in the regular season, it just gets easier to do it again in the postseason.
As a coaching staff, is it your job to help identify for players, or to ask them the questions that lead them to identify?
Both. Again, we spend time on it, in the offseason as a staff to try to find things that worked and identify situations that are going to be important. But having them talk through it is the most important, and getting their feedback, because they're the ones living it and feeling it, right? So we can try to identify it, but we're not in their shoes. So I think getting their feedback is also really important.
Vladdy's been tied to Bo for so many years through the minor leagues. With Bo not around, how do you think Vladdy will kind of handle being the guy now moving forward?
Good question. I've been asked that by other people. In my opinion, Vladdy's always been the guy in his whole time here. And when he came up, it was him, Bo, Cavan, right? The sons of the big leaguers. And when each guy kind of departs, I think it's cool that Vlad has been the one that's here, the one that we're building around. And I think that with anything, when you have relationships with people, with your friends, with your teammates, when those change, when those surroundings change, you probably see a little bit of a different version of the people that are still here. And I think it's, if anything, probably it allows Vlad to have a little bit of a louder voice. I think it allows him to be a little bit more free, because when you get so locked in with somebody day to day for 8, 9, 10 years, you kind of just have that as a norm. So I think it's an opportunity for Vlad to have a louder voice and really understand that this has been his team, and it's going to continue to be his team.
Your fan base has grown. You likely have more people watching you earlier this year, too. What's it like having that pressure?
Yeah, I don't think that's pressure. I think that's just an added bonus to our jobs. That's what you want. And for us to play for a whole country, we don't take it for granted. But talking to people in the off season, I mean, down here in Florida with Blue Jay fans that you see, and on vacation and Blue Jays fans you see, it's just so cool to. That was one of the biggest things we try to take away of the season, right? You come up a little bit short, but kind of what we did, what the group did for the country and the fan base to kind of rally around was awesome. And that's one of the things that we definitely want to hold on to. I told the guys this morning, don't be afraid to, talk to the fans. Don't be afraid to interact with them. They are a huge part of what makes us good. And I don't think it's pressure at all. I think that they deserve a good team. I think that we do everything we can to be a good team. I've been excited to get back up in Toronto and opening weekend here at the end of March for a long time. So I look at it as a privilege, not really a pressure.
John, did your heart skip a beat when Varsh took that pitch up and in?
Yep. Yeah, this time of spring training in general, it's just like live VPs are so tough because you're facing your own guys. But I always say a successful day is a healthy day. I'd rather screw up on the field as long as everyone's healthy right now. So he's good. Rogers is good on the little comebacker off the foot. But it seems like it happens once a spring.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you, guys.